Welcome to WebChart MD. Today we're going to take a look at the settings area for your MTSO admin account. First thing we're going to do is log in. And once logged in, we're going to go up to settings at the top right hand corner. Once we're in our settings area, we'll want to take note of the drop down here at the top left. It will either say all facilities, or if you click that, you'll see your specific online accounts. The important thing to note here is that if you're under all facilities, then you're going to see the settings for your transcription company, whereas if you're under a specific facility, you'll see the settings for that specific facility. We're going to start out with all facilities. And then we're just going to take an overview of each area and discuss what can be accomplished under those folders and settings areas. You'll see here you have three main folders: My Settings, Account Settings, and Workflow Settings. And then under each of those folders, you'll have subfolders. So let's go to My Settings first. Under My Settings, you're going to have Change Password. This is where you can change your password anytime. You'll put your current password and then the new password you want to use and click Change. You also have My Office. Under My Office, you'll set your routing limits and your document locking settings. And then under your address book, this is the address book linked to your transcription company. You can search the address book, you can add new locations, but this is specifically tied to your transcription company. Under the next folder, the Account Settings folder, you're going to have Accounts. So under Accounts, this is where you add your facilities. So once they're added under this area, they'll show up in your drop-down. Under Users, this is where you add any of your transcription company staff, transcribers, QA staff, admins for your transcription company. Under Associations, this is where you set the associations to your staff and your facilities and care providers. Under Dictators, you are going to see a whole list. And well, if you're under all facilities dictators, you'll see the full list of dictators. But if you're under the drop downs for the specific facility, you will see that facility's providers. Under Dictators, this is where you add your routing assignments, your 1.0 or 2.0 phone IDs and passcodes. This is where you'll set your auto fax and fax to office settings, as well as the interface IDs and the on-time settings. We'll discuss this again when we get to it under the specific facility. The next folder is your pay settings. So this is where you set your line definitions for your specific MTs. You just remember that these are multidimensional, so you can set a variety of different pay rates for your MTs. And that is all done from this area. And then you have your workflow settings. Under workflow settings, you have your workflow rules. And this tool will let you create specialized rules for your workflow. It's a very robust tool. And anytime you need any assistance with making rules, just let us know. We'll connect to you. Next, we have pools. And the pools are what drives the workflow. So in this area, you'll set the pools. And in Associate Transcriber, you will associate the transcribers to those pools. So those are your settings under all facilities. Let's go over those one more time just to refresh our memory. So under My Settings, you're going to have Change Password. My Office, this is where you set your routing limits and document locking. And then your address book. This address book is attached to your transcription company. Under Account Settings, you're going to have Accounts. This is where you add your new facilities. You're going to have Users, and this is where you add your transcription company users and staff, as well as your transcribers. Associations, this is where you set the associations between your staff and the facilities and providers. And then dictators. Under dictators, you set the routing assignments, the phone passcodes, the auto fax triggers and fax to office settings, as well as the transcriber ID and then your on-time settings. And then next, you'll have your pay settings. And this is where you set the bill definitions. This is where you set your pay definitions for your MTs. Next, we have workflow settings. And under workflow settings, we have the workflow rules. You have your pools, where you create the pools to drive your workflow. And then under pools, you have Associate Transcriber, where you associate those MTs to the pools that you created. Next, let's look at the settings for the specific facilities. So we're going to click the drop down and select a specific facility. And you're going to notice there are two main folders. You have My Accounts and Account Settings. So we're going to click My Settings. And then you'll notice under My Settings, you have Change Password, Fax Log. Now the fax log is going to show you all of the documents that have been faxed. Within the fax log, you have failed faxes, resend selected faxes, and export failures for the month. You're also going to have an address book that is attached to this particular facility. Again, this address book is searchable, and you can add new entries. And then next, you have a fax cover sheet. If you click there on the fax cover sheet, a Word document is going to open. You can place your facilities cover sheet into that Word document, close it, and then you'll have to save it, and then that will fax out before any of the faxes are sent from that facility. Next, you have account settings. So under account settings, you have locations. Locations will allow you to set up facilities that have multi-locations in the same state or the same city, but need to have a differentiation of the facilities. So this is where you'll set up different locations. Users under the specific office drop-down, that is where you'll add any office staff and providers, any office managers. This is where those will be added. Under associations, this is where you set the associations between the staff and those providers so that they can see the providers in the portal. Next, you have dictators. Again, this is the same area that you see under the all facilities drop down, only you're going to see only those providers for that specific facility. Again, to go over what you can set in this area, you can set the routing permissions, the pass 1.0 and 2.0 phone ID and passcodes. You can set the auto fax triggers and the fax to office settings, as well as the interface IDs and triggers and the on-time settings. Next, we have bill settings, which is very similar to pay settings, only this is going to set the bill definitions for the providers rather than the pay definitions for the MTs. And remember, these are multi-dimensional too, so if you need to set up multi-dimensional pay settings for any providers, just let us know. We can connect with you and show you how that's done. The next area is templates. This is where you'll upload templates. They can be uploaded to all dictators, or they can be uploaded to a specific provider. Just remember that if the templates are uploaded to the specific provider, then those templates will only be seen by that provider, whereas if they're uploaded under all dictators, then the template will be seen by the entire group of providers. And then you also have your patient import. If you have a list of patients that you need to import, you'll click this little help icon, and that will allow you to download an Excel sheet, which will then upload to upload that patient list. Again, let's go over the settings area for the drop downs to the specific facility. Under settings, we have change password, fax log, address book, and fax cover sheet. And then under account settings, we have locations. So this is used if your facility has multiple locations. Users. So this is where you will add the users for your facility. Associations. This is the area where you make your associations between the staff and that facility's providers. Dictators. This is the area where you'll set the routing assignments, the 1 and 2.0 phone IDs and passcodes if those are used, the auto fax and fax to office settings, interface settings, and on-time settings. The bill settings, this is the area where you will enter your bill definitions, and again, that is multidimensional. Your template area, this is where you'll upload your templates for your providers, and then your patient import area. And please remember that this was just a brief overview of the settings area. If you need any explanation on any area that I covered, or need any assistance, feel free to give us a call or email us. We have more videos we can send, or we can connect to you one-on-one and go over anything that you need to know. And as always, please feel free to contact us. Our help desk number is 1-877-386-6677 option 2, or via email at support@webchartmd.com. Thank you.